So we have to create a catch class, and then we create an init method to store an instance of Redis client as a private variable named Redis using redis.redis, and then we flush the instance using flush db. So we create the catch class. So in the parameter field for this init method, we are going to create a default value of host and set it to localhost. We do the same for port, set it to the default port for Redis, should be 79, and then db0. That's for the doc string. So next thing we do is to create an instance of Redis client. And then flush the instance using flush db. So we create an instance of Redis client, which is going to be private attribute. And then we pass in host as host, port as port, and db as db. So this Redis client is used to connect to a Redis server and is also responsible for communication with the server. Next, we call the flush db method on Redis client. So by so doing, what this is doing here is going to flush or clear the contents of Redis database, effectively making it empty. This is to ensure a clean starting point for the next catch to be created. The next is to create a store method that takes data argument and returns a string. And then we are going to generate a random key using UUID and then annotate the store method correctly. So first, let's do all this import Redis, import UUID, and then we import union. Since the store method is going to be having data as an argument, the data could be anything. It could be a string, it could be a byte. So we have to annotate it with union. So we create a store method and then passing self followed by data, and then annotate the data, which is, it could be a string, could be bytes, could be an integer, could be a float. and then it's going to return a string. And then next thing we to do here is to create a unique ID with the UUID 4, and then we convert it to a string, and then we save it as key. Next thing to do is to retrieve data from Redis cache, and then set the value of key as retrieve data. So here we retrieve data from Redis cache and then set the value as key as value of key as retrieve data, and then the key will act. This key now is going to act as a label or reference to data, and then we return the key. So forgot to let's get this right. This was ready. So that's fine. It was an honest mistake.